The night before the wedding, someone sent me a VIP room keycard. It was for the room where I proposed to my fiancée, Lu Hexin. I thought she had planned some pre-wedding romance. But when I pushed open the door, I found her in the room with another man, acting intimately. When she saw me, Lu Hexin finally pushed the man beside her away. She smiled without a care. Nothing else. I am just tired of hiding it. I wanted you to find out sooner, so I would not have to explain it after we are married. Then she added, do not worry. Everyone will still see us as a couple. You have worked alongside me for years. You have also made plenty of enemies in business. Without me, you would struggle to find a foothold or anyone to rely on. Tomorrow, everything proceeds as planned. Except, you can have the wedding, but the marriage certificate will be his. She thought I would at least ask why. Instead, I silently removed the engagement ring from my hand. I set it down, turned around, and left. The next day, Lu Hexin waited for me at the church in her wedding gown. I did not run, nor did I hide. I simply walked over with my arm around my sworn rival's waist. Then I waved the marriage certificate. You can have the wedding. The marriage certificate goes to her. When I came downstairs, a crowd of reporters had already gathered outside the hotel. Camera flashes crackled nonstop. Mr. Jiang, how do you feel about getting married today? Mr. Jiang, what do you have to say about the wedding of the century President Lu prepared for you? Do you have anything to say? I said nothing. Escorted by my bodyguards, I got into the car. The wedding was set at Sacred Heart Cathedral in the east of the city. Lu Hexin stood on the steps in a white wedding gown. She wore the smile of someone fully in control. She called me that morning, saying she had not slept well the night before and needed to catch up on sleep. She could not come pick up her groom. She was certain that I would be there. He came after all. Lu Hexin's close friend, Chen Yanyu, nudged Lu Hexin with her elbow, wearing a teasing grin. Our Hexin really knows how to keep things under control. Even with that last-minute business last night, the groom still showed up in his wedding suit. He handles things so thoroughly. He knows exactly where to draw the line. Exactly. After yesterday's upheaval, it was not easy for our Hexin to still stand here as the bride. That is no small feat. They all burst into laughter. The corners of Lu Hexin's lips lifted slightly. Her tone was casual. Jiang Yao has been by my side for 10 years. Only staying together makes sense for us. She lowered her eyes to the ring I had taken off yesterday. He is just throwing a little tantrum. It is normal. She paused. Her voice was resolute. But, in the end, he will still walk up to me and offer me his hand. Chen Yanyu gave her a thumbs up. The car door opened. Wearing a white groom suit, I stepped out of the car. Sunlight fell across my suit, catching in tiny glimmers. A flash of awe crossed Lu Hexin's eyes. She sincerely remarked, "You look so handsome in your groom's suit." But before she could touch my hand, her vibrating phone stole her attention. When she saw the caller name on the screen, the corners of her lips rose unconsciously. She stepped away and answered it. "What is it? Did I not tell you to call later?" A dejected male voice came through the phone. "Sister Shin, I am flying abroad this afternoon, so I booked our marriage registration for 10 minutes from now. Can you spare a moment to come to the marriage registry office? I just want to have our marriage certificate before I leave." 10 minutes? Lu Hexin gave a low laugh. "That urgent, huh?" After ending the call, Lu Hexin slipped her phone into her pocket. Her eyes brightened. Chen Yanyu leaned closer. "Who was that?" "Xiaoyi. He is flying abroad this afternoon and insists on getting our certificate before he goes." He pleaded so sweetly I could not refuse. Chen Yanyu raised a brow. "What about your wedding? What is the rush?" Lu Hexin was unconcerned. "The ceremony will take an hour or two. I will go to City Hall first. It will only take 10 minutes. You know what Xiaoyi is like. If I do not soothe him, he might actually cry at the airport." Taking the hint, Chen Yanyu said no more. Lu Hexin walked toward me. She put an arm around my shoulders and had the photographer beside us raise his camera. "Come on, take one of me. For the memories." Click. That was it. She checked her watch. "All right, that is enough for today. I have to go. Otherwise, I will miss the appointment." She turned and strode toward another car. I stood where I was and called after her. "Lu Hexin." She stopped in her tracks and looked back at me. That careless look of complete control still lingered in her eyes. "If you leave today," I said, word by word, "I will replace the bride." She froze for a moment, then laughed. Her smile was scornful and certain. "Another bride? Where exactly will you find one? Do you think life is some television drama? Everyone in hiking knows you belong to me." "Of course. If you truly can find someone brave enough to marry you, I would not stand in your way." She opened the car door, then tossed back a breezy tease. "Stop making a scene. Be good. Wait for me to come back. As for everything else, I know what I am doing." The bridesmaids behind her exchanged uneasy looks. Chen Yanyu hurried after her for 2 steps. "Hexin, you are really leaving? Hold things down for me. It is not like I am not coming back." Lu Hexin shut the car door. There was a trace of eagerness in her voice. "That boy is too hard to placate. I do not want to make trouble for myself." The car started, then sped away. I stood there. The wind lifted the hem of my groom's suit. The photographer beside me held up his camera. Standing there awkwardly, no one spoke. I looked down at the bare ring finger on my left hand. A slow smile curved my lips. "Lu Hexin, go on. Go get your marriage certificate. Then I will gladly take this multi-million-dollar wedding off your hands." Wearing my tailored suit, I walked into the church. The guests were seated. The officiant was in place. The wedding march was playing. Everything was perfect, except the bride was missing. Chen Yanyu caught up with me. "Brother-in-law, Hexin has an urgent matter to deal with. She will be right back. Please sit down for now." "Yes, exactly. Our Hexin always has things under control. Today is your wedding day. She will definitely be here soon." "That is right. When it comes to important matters, Hexin never lets anyone down." They all spoke over one another, making the bride running off sound like she had merely stepped out to collect a package. I glanced at the clock at the front of the church. 10:40. "I will wait for her." I calmly sent them away. Chen Yanyu visibly relaxed. She hurriedly had someone bring me tea and water. I would wait, but whom I was waiting for was none of their concern. This wedding had been promoted for 3 months in advance. Nearly all of the bride's important relatives were here. I looked around, taking in every detail. The cascade of white roses by the floor-to-ceiling windows, the crystal bead curtains hanging from the dome ceiling, even the font on the guest place cards, had been custom designed at her request. Lu Hexin was the kind of person who took everything to the absolute extreme. She was like that when she pursued me, and when she planned this wedding. She made this wedding the talk of hiking, and made it the wedding everyone dreamed of. And even when she cheated, she took it to the extreme. There was no room for compromise, and no explanation. In her mind, treating someone well and hurting that same person were never contradictory. And I had only one choice: accept it. In the lounge, my friend Gu, who had come all the way from Aocheng to be my best man, was straightening the hem of my suit. His face was full of indignation. Is Lu Hexin out of her mind? On her wedding day, she runs off to register a marriage with another man. Did she get her head slammed in a door? Fuming, he sat down beside me and tugged at his best man's suit. I thought she was just bluffing. Did she have to choose today? When you two were planning this wedding, she chose the bouquet for you by searching every florist in the city. When you tried on your suit, her eyes reddened before yours did. I was so jealous of you it made me bitter. I even gave my clueless girlfriend an earful." He paused. Who could have imagined she would turn around and do something like this? I said nothing, scrolling through my phone. On social media, Su Yi had just posted an update. The photo showed a woman's blouse and a man's briefs scattered on the floor. Someone promised to stay only 10 minutes, but could not bear to leave. He had deliberately shared his location. It was not City Hall. Mutual friends had already commented below. "Xiao Yi, are you trying to drive Jiang Yao crazy?" Su Yi replied. "Jiang Yao, whoever is waiting in a suit for someone who will not come is the one getting angry." Expressionless, I took a screenshot. Gu snatched my phone away. "Yao, stop waiting for her. Look at the kind of person she is." "For her? You came straight back after graduating from the United Kingdom. Do you know how furious your parents were? Back then, Lu Hexin was a complete nobody. Yet you dared make a 10-year bet with your parents. Now you have lost the bet completely. If you had not helped her day and night all these years, drafting proposals and securing investments, quietly using your clout as a shipping magnate's son to get her project off the ground, would she have achieved what she has today? Yet she turned around and got involved with an investor's son. I never knew she could fake it so well. She kept up the act until the night before the wedding, when she let you find out she had gone to a hotel with another man. The more Xiayin spoke, the angrier he became. His eyes had even turned red. Yao, stop waiting. It is time you lived for yourself. Yan, thank you for coming today. As for my parents, after the wedding, I will go back and admit defeat. A bet is a bet. Today was the day I would pay the price of losing that bet. After reassuring my friend and myself, I headed for the terrace at the end of the hall to get some air. Just as I reached for the door, I heard several women talking inside. The bridesmaids were hiding here, talking. Wait, Hexin really is not coming back. She said he had something going on, and she cannot get away. She told us to stall for time. Chen Yanyu let out a breath, with Jiang Yao's temper. How long do you think he can endure this? Look at him today. He put on the suit, walked the red carpet, and then the bride ran away. Yet he did not even furrow his brow. Zhou Jiwen sighed regretfully. A husband this devoted. What more could a wife ask for? Hexin truly does not know how lucky she is. How could Hexin care about that now? They sighed among themselves. Then someone started a video call. Hexin, you finally picked up. Jiang Yao is still waiting. Is it really right for you not to come back? A burst of noise came through the phone. Can't you see I'm busy? Lu Hexin sounded impatient. I cannot go back. Just take care of the relatives and guest. All right. Go on, Hexin. Get back to it. Jiang Yao is steady-tempered anyway. Before she could finish, I had already pushed open the terrace door. Their smiles instantly froze. Chen Yanyu hid the phone behind her back. Jiang. I looked at them. The wedding starts in 3 minutes. What are you hiding here for? More than 300 guests are waiting outside. Will you make them wait? Or make us the laughingstock? The moment I finished speaking, they burst out laughing. Jiang. Chen Yanyu laughed and waved her hand. Do not joke around. Will 3 minutes be enough? Hexin can't get back in time. It is enough. I cut her off calmly, then turned and left. Only then did Chen Yanyu remember the video call was still on. She glanced at the screen. Hexin. Jiang said the wedding begins in 3 minutes. Hurry up? Lu Hexin's helpless laugh came through the phone. 3 minutes? He clearly has no idea what I'm dealing with right now. Chen Yanyu asked softly. Hexin. Then. The other end went silent for 2 seconds. Then Lu Hexin spoke impatiently. Go on. Hold things together for me. I will come once I am done here. Another muffled male groan sounded in the background. At the groan, Chen Yanyu quickly ended the video call. They hurriedly straightened their dresses. Then they filed out of the terrace. When they caught up with me, Zhou Jiwen said softly, Jiang, after all these years, we all know about you and Hexin. She does have feelings for you. It is just, she is a woman, you know. I did not look at her or respond. Truthfully, until yesterday, I had refused to believe she could be the type to discard the old for the new. Suyi was an investor's only son. He had just graduated from college. Ever since they met at the celebration banquet, there had been something wrong with the way she looked at him. At the time, I thought I was overthinking it. After all, we had been together for 10 years. If I did not understand her, I would not have held on this long. So all those suggestive moments, all those late-night messages she never answered, I chose to trust her through all of it. I refused to believe that after everything we had endured, when we were about to become a family, we would lose to a young man fresh out of college. But gradually, she became eager to tear off her mask. She grew more and more outrageous. She stopped hiding it. She even made sure I found out, then dressed up her betrayal as a favor. Someone as exceptional as me. How could I possibly have only one man? But my heart belongs to you. Other than you, no one else can take the position of Mr. Lu, and she expected me to be grateful for it. Xiayin was right. She was far too good at pretending. Not until the day before the wedding did she finally rip away the last layer of her disguise, using the cruelest possible way to make me see with my own eyes and hear with my own ears what I truly meant to her. She kept pretending until I had no way out. Brother-in-law. Walk slowly down the aisle later. We will be right behind you, backing you up. Right, Hexin said. She will come once she is done. Just go through the motions now. They thought I would merely go through the motions of the wedding. They thought I would wear my suit, walk down the aisle alone, stand before the priest, wait for a bride who might never arrive, then smile and say, I do, to an empty place where the bride should be. That was the script Lu Hexin had written for me. The bridesmaids stood on either side of me, wearing smug smiles as if everything were under control. The church doors slowly opened. A figure stood silhouetted against the light. Then, everyone's smiles froze. Lu Hexin took a sip of water. Her heart was full of panic and guilt. Are you really leaving? Suyi looked thoroughly displeased. You promised you would stay and help today. Why are you leaving now? I have no choice but to go. Lu Hexin sighed helplessly. He only gave me 3 minutes. If I do not go now, you know what his temper is like. Why would he be angry? Suyi curled his lip. Is he not always so understanding? Lu Hexin checked herself in the mirror. He may be understanding, but today is different. Lu Hexin was filled with regret. This wedding of the century was something I promised him. Then why did you come here? Did you not have a fever? Lu Hexin gave a small smile. All right. Focus on getting well first. Suyi turned away. Then how long are you going to put off the partnership we agreed on? We will talk about it later. Lu Hexin gave him a dismissive reply. She picked up her phone from the nearby cabinet. The screen lit up. Her phone was flooded with messages. They were all mentions from the girls' group chat. Voice messages came one after another. The last was a video Jiang Yao had sent. She frowned, then casually tapped it open. Her eyes flew wide. Suyi turned back. Seeing her expression, he was startled. What is it? Lu Hexin's hand trembled around her phone. In the video, a man wore a groom's suit, smiling. Then the camera shifted, revealing a woman in a bridal gown. The scene looked so harmonious, as though it were their wedding. But she had chosen that suit. The white roses were hers. She had planned the wedding. How could this be? She whispered to herself. Impossible. Jiang Yao had devoted himself to her for 10 years. What woman would not mind? Especially when that woman was Gu Xiayin, Jiang Yao's greatest enemy. From the day he started his business, she had targeted him at every turn for no reason. She had wanted nothing more than to grind him into the dirt. Gu Xiayin was the eldest granddaughter of Gangdao's Gu family. Her family's empire spanned real estate, shipping, and media. Even before the Lu family fell, even at its height, the Lu family had to show her some respect. A woman born with every advantage like her would be interested in Jiang Yao. It was not that Lu Hexin looked down on Jiang Yao, but Gu Xiayan's social circle had always been filled with heirs of prominent families, young masters from old money dynasties. Jiang Yao was capable and handsome, but he came from an ordinary background. His father was merely a small business owner in Aocheng. Gu Xiayin would never lower herself to marry a man from such an average family. More importantly, Jiang Yao loved her deeply. She knew that better than anyone. When the Lu family went bankrupt, she became a pariah in hiking, kicked while she was down. Creditors blocked her door every day and splashed paint over it. No one dared help her. She fell into despair, spending every day drinking herself senseless in bars. Jiang Yao had endured the pressure, taken out all his savings, and crouched before her to say, "You still have me." For her project, he traveled alone through 12 cities, working himself into the hospital without stopping. They had finally made it through the hard times, finally reached this grand wedding. So how could he turn around and marry someone else? Lu Hexin calmed herself. Then she called Jiang Yao. The phone rang for a long time before it was answered. The other end was deafeningly noisy. People were screaming. Others were talking over each other. It was complete chaos. Hexin. What is going on? Lu Hexin practically shouted. At my wedding with Jiang Yao, why did you let that woman in? Do you not know she is the person Jiang Yao hates most? The other end went silent for 3 seconds. The Gu family is incredibly powerful. Even if we invited her, she might not come. How was I supposed to know? Blood rushed to Lu Hexin's head in an instant. Her voice was full of certainty. She came here just to discuss me. Jiang Yao has been with me for 10 years. Everyone in the city knows it. Gu Xiayin has no shame. But the Gu family still has its reputation. On the other end of the line, Chen Yanyu finally could not hold back. Hexin. You. Watch the second video I sent you. A sly, fox-like smile lingered on Gu Xiayan's lips. I am not greedy, really. I do not care whether we have the ceremony or not. Just give me the marriage certificate. The red carpet was long, a river of white roses, stretching from our feet to the altar. I gave a short laugh. Planning a wedding is not easy. I glanced up at the crystal bead curtains hanging from the dome. Flowers, a band, 300 guests, and a 3-star Michelin wedding banquet. Her smile did not change. Why not use it when it is free? But her eyes darkened slightly. I stepped forward. But you, Ms. Gu. Right after getting your marriage certificate, you had someone park a car behind the church. You even had a couture gown ready and changed in the car. Yet you said it did not matter whether we held a wedding. Gu Xiayan's lashes fluttered, just once, like a pebble striking a lake. Before the ripples could spread, the surface was calm again, but I knew I had struck a nerve. Her eyes gleamed with the thrill of meeting an equal. Jiang Yao. She said my name. She did not explain, nor did she deny it. A free wedding? I will play along. She lowered her head. But those things you just said. She paused, tracing a circle over the back of my hand with her thumb. I will count them as interest. I looked up at her. She said nothing else. She took my hand and turned toward the altar. The organ began a beautiful melody. We took our first step. On either side of the red carpet, the guests' gazes swept over us like a tide. Some whispered to one another. Others secretly took pictures. The bridesmaids looked as though they had swallowed whole eggs. Gu Xiayin walked at an unhurried pace. Her grip on my hand was neither tight nor loose. Second step, third step. White roses trembled faintly at our feet. I turned to look at her. She did not look back. Only the curve of her lips lifted slightly. Her expression clearly said, "You are not getting away." The bride's relatives below had already erupted. Several older uncles wore livid expressions, whispering among themselves. Someone muttered, "This is disgraceful." The bridesmaids were in even greater uproar. They tried to rush the altar, but were firmly held back. They tried to pull out their phones and alert someone, only to find their phones had already been taken. At last, they understood. This wedding had never been a situation they could control. The priest's white robes came into view. He opened his book of scripture and cleared his throat. "Mr. Jiang Yao, do you take?" Before he could finish, the church doors behind us burst open. He does not. Lu Hexin's voice was breathless with fury. Jiang Yao, get down here. Chen Yanyu looked as though she had seen her savior. Hexin. She immediately ran over. Brother Jiang, he walked arm in arm with Gu Xiayin, all the way down the red carpet. I could not stop him. She caught her breath, her voice growing more strained. Thank goodness you saw the second video I sent, and rushed over. Chen Yanyu had secretly filmed that video from the side aisle. In the footage, the red carpet was long. Gu Xiayin walked toward me step by step. Then I reached my hand out to her. Lu Hexin knew better than anyone that I hated Gu Xiayin even more than she did. At today's wedding, I should have thrown Gu Xiayin out, but I did not. Even the way I looked at Gu Xiayin, in all her life, Lu Hexin had never seen me look at another woman like that. The priest stood frozen at the altar, scripture in hand. I did not turn around. I said to the priest, "Please continue." My voice was quiet, but Lu Hexin's face turned livid. She stormed up the red carpet. Jiang Yao, have you had enough of this madness? Her eyes held fury and disbelief. Along with panic she desperately tried to hide. What exactly are you trying to pull? Yet she could not hide the tremor forced from her throat. You have been with me for 10 years. What side of you have I not seen? Do you know who this woman is? She is surrounded by heirs from the finest families. Why would she ever choose you? Standing at the altar with Gu Xiayin on your arm. Are you trying to make me jealous? Or make the whole city laugh at you? She gave a cold laugh. Her gaze swept from my face to Gu Xiayan's. Do not let yourself be played, and still think you have won. She pressed a step closer. Her voice carried that certainty I had heard for 10 years. Come down now, and I will pretend none of this happened. I will make it up to you with another wedding. You will still be the Lu family's son-in-law. With that, she slightly raised her chin, waiting for me to come down and pull her into my arms. The church fell silent. I turned to her. At this woman I had loved for 10 years, endured for 10 years, for whom I had humbled myself to the dust, yet earned not a shred of respect. Then I smiled. It was a light smile, as if I had finally understood something. I turned to Gu Xiayin. I lifted her chin, lowered my gaze, and kissed her. The instant our lips met, I felt her body stiffen slightly, only for a moment. Then she wrapped her arms around my neck, rose onto her tiptoes, and melted into my arms, like a beast that had waited too long. Finally seeing its prey walk right into its grasp, she stopped holding back, stopped calculating. Lu Hexin let out a strangled squawk. I ignored her. Gu Xiayin was the first to pull away. Her breathing was still heavy. Her thumb brushed the corner of my mouth. Her voice was impossibly husky. You made the first move. She paused. Her lips slowly curved. At last, light appeared in those dark eyes. It was a possessiveness hot enough to burn. This time, I cannot let you go. She tilted her head, gesturing with her chin to the bodyguards behind her. Escort Ms. Lu out. For highly trained bodyguards in black silently approached Lu Hexin. She had not yet recovered from my betrayal. When they seized her arms, her eyes reddened instantly, and her voice cracked. Gu Xiayin, I spent 3 months planning this wedding. What gives you the right to steal my wedding? To steal my men? Do not forget the Aocheng project. Your Gu family pursued it for 3 years. And who did it end up with? She paused, malicious delight ringing in her voice. Besides, Ms. Gu, you really have such low standards. A man who followed me around for 10 years. I am sick of looking at him. Are you not afraid all of Jiang Yao will laugh at you? The great Ms. Gu picking up another woman's cast-off. She tried to say more, but the bodyguards were already dragging her out. Gu Xiayin lowered her head and looked into my eyes. I do not care about what she said. I cut her off. The corner of her lips lifted slightly. There was an indescribable ache in her eyes. I tightened my grip on her hand, then turned to face the priest. Continue. The priest announced. I now pronounce you legally married. I took 2 rings from my suit pocket. I raised Gu Xiayan's hand, and gently slid one over her knuckle. Once it was on her finger. Gu Xiayin lifted my hand. After putting my ring on, she said, There. I let you get away in college. Later, I forced my father to go to your home and win your father's favor, so our parents would settle the marriage quickly. And you ran away again. Now, you cannot escape me. My parents said, we had 10 years. They cut ties with me. If after 10 years, I could return with Lu Hexin and stand tall before them, they would accept her as their daughter-in-law. If I lost the bet, I would go back for an arranged marriage. Gu Xiayin was the punishment they said I deserved if I lost. All these years, I worked myself to the bone to prove myself. I was often away on business for projects in Hong Kong and Aocheng. Lu Hexin and I spent little time together. Instead, I saw Gu Xiayin, my sworn enemy, at investment conferences for major projects and across negotiation tables, more often than I saw my actual girlfriend. But professional faces eventually blur. Those clashes, probes, and razor-sharp confrontations were only a vague outline in my memory. A woman who always stood against me. A woman who was difficult to handle. Until this moment, I looked down at the ring on my ring finger. Fragments of memory suddenly flashed through my mind. Back in college, I loved design. I secretly filled sketchbook after sketchbook with jewelry designs. But my father said, studying management and taking over the family business was the proper path. Design was just a pointless distraction. The day he came to visit me at school, he happened upon my sketchbook. What is the point of drawing these? Furious, he crumpled that page into a ball and threw it into the trash right in front of me. That design had become the ring on my ring finger. When everyone else told me to abandon my dream, someone had picked it up from me, kept it hidden for 10 years, and waited until this day to place it back on my hand. Applause rose all around us. I looked up, wanting to see her expression, but the church doors were pushed open again. 2 uniformed police officers walked in. Lu Hexin followed behind them. Lu Hexin pointed straight at Gu Xiayin, who was holding my hand at the altar. That is her. This woman illegally broke into my wedding, stole my groom, caused a disturbance, and ruined someone else's lawful wedding. Please take her away immediately. She looked around the room and added, I, Lu Hexin, planned this wedding. The flowers, venue, and banquet. I paid for every cent of it. Every important person in the city can testify to that. The officers looked at Gu Xiayin, then at the guests filling the church. One spoke in a business-like tone. Is what Ms. Lu says true? The room fell deathly silent. Even the Lu family did not dare, at a moment like this, to step forward and speak for Lu Hexin. In the end, I spoke up. Officer, this is my wife's and my wedding. There is no issue here. Everyone's eyes snapped toward me. Then which lady is your wife? I looked at the woman beside me, still holding my hand, silent as still water. It is her, Gu Xiayin. Lu Hexin's body went rigid, as if she had been punched squarely in the chest. Her shock was not anger. It was not sorrow. It was a dazed, disbelieving emptiness. She had likely never imagined that one day, I, the man who had seemed unable to live without her, would stand beside someone else, and, with such certainty, speak another woman's name. I turned and nodded to Huo Yan. He took a document folder from my bag. This is the venue rental contract, the flower purchase receipts. I am the contracting party on every document, including the banquet service agreement. Ms. Lu merely helped decorate the venue. This wedding, from beginning to end, was something I prepared for myself. Lu Hexin's face went utterly pale. The Lu family's relatives erupted in an uproar. The bridesmaids were even harder to restrain. Chen Yanyu was the first to rush out and point a finger in my face. Jiang Yao, you have no conscience. For this wedding, Hexin pulled countless all-nighters. And now you claim it is your wedding to another woman. What do you take her for? A free wedding planner? Zhou Jiwen stepped up too. Exactly. Hexin gave you her whole heart. And what did you do? You turned around and married her rival. You even used all her hard work to make yourself happy. Jiang Yao, you are heartless. Lu Hexin stood frozen in place. She did not argue. She did not shout. She was not even crying. She only stared straight at me. Jiang Yao, didn't I rush over? You were with me for 10 years. When have I ever let you down? Yes, I have been awful lately. I was out of my mind. But you have always been in my heart. You know me better than anyone, do you not? She took a deep breath, her voice trembling. But look at her. What kind of person is Gu Xiayin? Do you know what she did just last week? I won the Aocheng project. She has been holding a grudge ever since. You think she will treat you well? She is only using you to get back at me. She held out her hand to me. Come here, Yao Yao. Her palm faced upward. I will never leave you again. I swear. It was the same soothing tone she had used countless times when I was upset. Come back with me. Can we start over? Her hand hung in the air, trembling faintly. 1 second passed. Then 2. Then 3. And then, I heard my own voice. Lu Hexin. My voice was calm as a stagnant pool. It is too late. The resentment and hurt on her face. All of it faded in an instant. The officer took the documents, flipped through them, then looked at Lu Hexin. Ms. Lu, they can provide complete proof that they arranged this wedding themselves. There was no illegal entry or disruption of a wedding. You allege that this gentleman committed bigamy. What legal relationship do you have with him? Lu Hexin opened her mouth, but could not say a word. The officer asked again, Are you legally married to him? Silence. Do you have an engagement agreement? Silence. Then what basis do you have for calling him your groom? Lu Hexin hurriedly pulled up on her phone our photos together and chat records, showing them to the officer. Her voice hardened again, as if she were clinging to her last hope. Is this enough? We have been together for 10 years. These chat records, these photos, do they not prove he is mine? The officer glanced at them, but before he could speak, I slowly took out that little red booklet. I held it out to the officer. And to Lu Hexin. Lu Hexin, look carefully. Gu Xiayin and I are already legally married. Today's wedding is not bigamy. It is a belated ceremony. Lu Hexin's face turned from red to white in an instant, then from white to gray, her eyes fixed on the marriage certificate, on the names Jiang Yao and Gu Xiayin, side by side. Her pupils went unfocused. You. When did you? The officer frowned. Ms. Lu, their marital status is lawful. There is no bigamy involved. This is filing a false police report. If you do this again, we will handle it according to the law. With that, he turned and left. Lu Hexin remained where she stood, like a tree struck by lightning. Scorched to its core, she looked at me, her lips trembling soundlessly. Yao. This wedding, I promised it to you. Chen Yanyu finally stepped forward. Hexin, let us go for now. They are already legally married. Lu Hexin did not move. She kept staring at me. Yao. I did say, the wedding would be yours, and the marriage certificate would be his, but I had not registered with him yet. When I got there, I remembered the way you looked at me. I remembered your smile. Then I knew I could not register with him. So I stalled. Her eyelashes fluttered. 10 years. Yet when you registered with someone else, you did not hesitate at all. I gave a short laugh. You stalled instead of registering with him. Not because you suddenly came to your senses. You were afraid you could not explain it to the Su family. And I did not hesitate. Because you no longer have the right to make me hesitate. Gu Xiayin took my hand and turned to walk down from the altar. As we passed Lu Hexin, she whispered in her ear, Sorry. The marriage certificate is mine. And so is the wedding. I smiled and did not deny it. In fact, my story with Gu Xiayin began before Lu Hexin. In high school, we both attended the school known as Banshantimen, a private academy for the elite. The school's security system was military grade. School buses collected and dropped us off on time every morning and evening. Even food delivery could not get past the gates. My parents sent me there, so I could start learning to manage the family business. But the more airtight that cage was, the harder it was for me to breathe. I was a little wild, and a little hard to control. I would sneak out during exercise break to buy cola. During evening study hall, I hid on the roof to read comics. Gu Xiayin from the class next door was famous for being quiet. So quiet that sometimes I wondered if she was even real. She belonged to no clique. She never competed for a place on the student council. In an environment where everyone fought and everyone craved attention, she was like a shadow that did not belong. And I happened to enjoy provoking shadows. One dusk in my junior year, I ran into her at the end of the corridor. She was carrying a book to the library. She looked up at me, blocking her way. Her eyes were dark and deep, giving nothing away. Yet she did not walk around me. Gu Xiayin, do you not know how to smile? I lowered my head slightly and leaned closer. She stepped back half a pace. Still holding the book firmly to her chest, she answered coolly. I do. Her eyelashes fluttered faintly, but there was not a trace of a smile on her face. I found that amusing, and moved another half step closer. Instinctively, she turned aside to avoid me. My gaze fell on the book in her arms. You like Deep Space Hunter too? And it is the out-of-print edition. Can I borrow it? Gu Xiayin looked up at me. She replied softly, Sure. As she spoke, she handed me the book. I reached out to take it. Gu Xiayan's hand lightly brushed my fingertips. That tiny touch made my heart tremble. I instantly felt awkward. I hurriedly said, Thanks. Then I turned and hurried away. Truthfully, I had never been that close to a girl before. I stayed up all night and read the comic from cover to cover. The next day, I gathered my courage and waited in the corridor to return it. After that, I would avoid her whenever I walked by. Years later, at our first business encounter, at the project bid she lost to me, that day, she suddenly brought it up. I did it on purpose. I froze. She lowered her eyes. And that sly, fox-like smile returned to her lips. When you leaned close, I could have turned my head and avoided you. But I did not want to. At the time, I only thought she was bitter over losing, using those words to get back at me. In the first semester of my senior year, I had had enough of the pressure at school. I told my parents I was leaving for hiking to take the college entrance exams. They could not change my mind. So they finally gave in. So I went to that vibrant city and met Lu Hexin. The Lu family had not fallen yet. She was still the girl whose little canine teeth showed when she smiled. Bright, bold, and flamboyant. She was nothing like those lifeless scions from Banshantiman. She was completely different. After the entrance exams, I went to the United Kingdom. I still remembered her smile. As for Gu Xiayin, I knew she had gone to the United Kingdom too. To the same university as me. But aside from chance encounters, neither of us ever sought the other out. Only much later did I hear from someone else that she had quietly kept track of everything about me during those years. She knew my major, which street I lived on, and which library I visited most. Every supposedly chance encounter had been carefully arranged. I just never realized it. She had even planned to confess her feelings on the day of my graduation. But I did not attend the ceremony. I bought a ticket back to hiking that morning, because Lu Hexin said she missed me. Later, I helped Lu Hexin rebuild from nothing. My strengths lay in Hong Kong and Aocheng. I dealt with Gu Xiayin more and more often. It was business competition. But I truly hated her. She knew full well that Lu Hexin and I desperately needed to win that landmark project in Aocheng to prove my worth to my parents. Yet she would not give an inch. Everyone in the company knew President Jiang had an arch-rival who often slammed documents down at bidding meetings and overturned teacups at the negotiating table. But no one could have guessed that this arch-rival would become the woman I shared my bed with when I brought Gu Xiayin home. My parents were smiling from ear to ear. My father personally came to greet us at the door. Holding Gu Xiayan's hand, he said, "Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful." My mother secretly wiped away her tears. "It is good that you are back. It is good that you are back." For once, Gu Xiayin put away her usual sly fox persona and respectfully called out, "Mom, Dad." The old couple were overjoyed. At dinner, my father brought up the Aocheng land reclamation project that had been in preparation for 3 years. After watching me struggle for 10 years, my parents had deliberately dangled it as bait. The Lu Group's bid won the moment it was submitted. For 10 years, they watched coldly from the sidelines as I helped Lu Hexin build from nothing, chasing projects, negotiating deals, and shouldering risks. Until we built the company up step by step, they finally admitted that aside from being stubborn to a fault, I had business talent in my bones. I could handle pressure and make bold decisions, hold fast to my principles. So even if they still looked down on that daughter-in-law, they decided to let their son win. They just never expected an accident at the wedding. That project was meant as a gift for my daughter-in-law. That woman from the Lu family was not fortunate enough to have it. "Daughter-in-law, are you interested? I will follow my husband's lead." Gu Xiayin placed a piece of pork rib into my bowl. That was what she said. But in truth, from the day we registered our marriage, she completely lost control. Before, just to see me more often, she still knew to go easy on me. I thought she was only doing it out of respect for my father. But later, my mother told me that my father had once issued a harsh warning, warning her to make my life hell. Caught in the middle, Xiayin had always held herself back. Now she had no reason to hold back. She directly pulled away Lu Hexin's final lifeline. When the news reached Lu Hexin, she was drinking. She slumped on the sofa, staring at the home that had long since lost the man she loved. "He is only doing this to spite me. He will get over it in a few days." Her eyes were bloodshot. No matter how her friends tried to persuade her, it was useless. Impossible. Even if he had fallen for someone else, that person could never be Gu Xiayin. Chen Yanyu could not stand watching any longer. "Suyi, come over." She brought Suyi over directly. But the moment Suyi entered, Lu Hexin lunged at him, seized him by the throat, and pinned him against the wall. "That day, you deliberately got me drunk and slept with me. Afterward, you said your father would increase his investment. Where is the money? Why did he pull the investment?" Suyi's face went white with fright. He stammered, unable to speak. How could he know what had gotten into his father? His father would not even listen to his own son. For a woman, there is no such thing as cheating only once. Lu Hexin had not wanted this either. She only knew she had slept with someone else while imagining he was me. She was tainted. She had betrayed me. So there was no need for her to stay pure anymore. She lied to herself that it was only for the investment. But in reality, Suyi's youthful looks had caught her attention long ago. Yet I had never noticed. The less I noticed, The more she wanted me to find out, she wanted me to accept it. If I accepted her, it would all be fine. Now she regretted it. She regretted not stopping herself the first time. She regretted thinking she was my only option. She did not even know who her enemy was. Completely unprepared. That night, she smashed her phone to pieces. Why? She screamed at the empty air all night. Why should this happen to me? The company had lost its backbone. Major projects ground to a halt. The small liquidated damages paid by the other party were nothing compared to the hole left by the withdrawn investments. They were not worth mentioning. After digging into it, she finally found out that Aocheng shipping king, Jiang Yao, had a deeply hidden son named Jiang Yao. At that moment, she understood everything. She finally knew why Jiang Yao could throw his weight around in Hong Kong and Aocheng, and why he had become Haiqing's most celebrated young man. The man she had never even given a second look. The father-in-law she thought merely ran a small business was actually the tycoon who controlled the shipping trade in Hong Kong and Aocheng. She knelt outside the gates of the Jiang estate, soaked by the rain all night, weeping and begging to see me. When the butler came in to report, "Sir, Miss Lu is kneeling outside. She says she wants to see you." "I will not see her." Gu Xiayin looked up and kissed my cheek. Her voice was laced with laughter. "Honey, you look most handsome when you are this heartless." Outside, it rained all night. Lu Hexin knelt there the entire night. At dawn the next day, she was gone from the gate. Only an envelope, ruined by the rain, remained. Inside was a ring. It was the one I had taken off the night before the wedding. I told the butler to throw it away. This time, I would not pick up trash again.